The jet screamed across the sky, rattling windows miles away. Children covered their ears. Adults looked up in awe. And standing in the crowd, a foreign journalist whispered, This is why the world watches them." The United States didn't just build a country. It built presence. And presence, when it's that loud, that visible, that powerful, demands attention. Across the ocean, in a tense government meeting room, a minister slammed a file on the table. "If Washington moves on this, our economy shifts overnight," he warned. The room fell silent. One decision made thousands of miles away could shake their currency, their trade, their future. That's not normal influence. That's gravity. America's military might is the first layer of its power. Aircraft carriers sit like floating cities across oceans. Fighter jets move at speeds few can rival. Nuclear capabilities remain on standby. When conflicts spark anywhere on the planet, leaders don't just ask what their neighbors will do. They ask, what will America do? Allies feel reassured. Rivals feel cautious. Because when a country can project force across continents within hours, the balance of power changes. Fear doesn't always come from aggression. Sometimes it comes from capability. But America's strength isn't just built on weapons. It's built on money. In a trading office in Asia, screens flash red. An analyst exhales sharply. The Federal Reserve just adjusted rates. Within minutes, markets react. Investors panic. Currencies shift. The US dollar dominates global trade. Oil deals are negotiated in dollars. Nations hold dollar reserves as security. And when America enforces sanctions, entire economies can feel the squeeze. One advisor mutters, "If they cut us off from the dollar system, we're finished." That's financial influence at a scale few countries have ever achieved. If this already has you thinking differently, hit that like button right now, because we're just getting started. Then there's innovation. Inside Silicon Valley, a startup founder looks at her team and says, "If this works, it changes everything." Within months, her app spreads globally. Businesses in Europe adopt it. Teenagers in Africa use it. Corporations in South America depend on it. American tech companies don't just create products. They reshape habits, economies, and communication itself. Hollywood scripts influence culture. American music dominates charts worldwide. Streaming platforms beam American values, slang, and stories into homes across continents. A teenager in another country speaks English with an American accent because of what he watches online. That's soft power. And soft power can be just as intimidating as military strength. But greatness also lies in opportunity. A young immigrant steps off a plane, clutching a single suitcase. In this country, she tells herself, anything is possible. The American dream has pulled talent from every corner of the world. Universities attract global minds. Entrepreneurs chase bold ideas. Failure isn't the end, it's a lesson. Ambition thrives where systems reward risk. And that constant reinvention keeps America at the top. But here's where admiration turns into fear. Dominance invites scrutiny. Interventions in foreign conflicts, political pressure, sanctions, cultural influence overpowering local traditions. Some governments whisper, they interfere too much. Others admit quietly, we wish we had their leverage. If this breakdown is opening your eyes, comment below. Is America's power more about strength or strategy? Because the deeper truth is coming next. In a late-night strategy session overseas, a defense chief leans forward and says, "We don't fear them because they attack. We fear them because they can." That difference matters. America's global network of alliances stretches across continents. NATO partnerships, security agreements in Asia, military bases positioned strategically worldwide. If tension rises in one region, allies expect involvement. Rivals calculate carefully. That kind of reach makes America central to global stability, but it also makes it unavoidable. Meanwhile, in a university lab in Boston, scientists celebrate a breakthrough. A vaccine, a technological leap, a medical innovation. Within months, the discovery spreads worldwide, saving lives and shaping industries. Research funding, private investment, academic freedom. These systems fuel constant advancement. Other nations compete fiercely to keep up. Some succeed. Many struggle. An economic advisor in Europe mutters during a conference, "When their tech giants move, our industries shake." Because American companies don't just operate domestically, they scale globally. Social media platforms influence elections abroad. Entertainment shapes global narratives. Financial institutions fund international projects. Influence flows outward continuously. But power also brings criticism. On the streets of another capital, protesters chant against American foreign policy. They accuse, they blame, they criticize intervention and economic dominance. Inside government buildings, leaders weigh the risks. If we oppose them publicly, will trade suffer? One official asks. Fear isn't always about invasion. Sometimes it's about dependence. Dependence on the dollar, dependence on military protection, dependence on technology. And yet millions still seek entry into America every year. Why? Because alongside dominance exists freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of enterprise, freedom to criticize leadership without disappearing. That openness fuels creativity and resilience. During crises, financial crashes, terrorist attacks, pandemics, the country bends, but it rarely breaks. It adapts, reinvents, rebuilds. Few nations combine military superiority, economic dominance, technological innovation, cultural reach, and individual liberty at this scale. That combination creates admiration and intimidation. A foreign diplomat once said quietly, "You don't have to love them, but you must account for them." That might be the clearest summary of all. America's greatness isn't simple. It's layered. It's powerful. It's controversial. It's influential. And influence on that level will always create both respect and fear. If this story kept you engaged, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep, thought-provoking breakdowns. Drop a comment below. Do you see America as a stabilizing force or a disruptive one? Because in today's interconnected world, one truth remains clear. When America moves, the world reacts.